The battery to my remote died. Screaming internally. Okay. let's jump into it, okay? So I'm gonna start off with my Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. This is my Sugar Honey Iced Tea. It really does like smooth my skin out, and I have a bit of texture. If you hear any noise, it's pebbles. I have a bit of texture on my skin because I was using some PCA products. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of PCA, but I was using their blemish control bar, and guess what? It gave me blemishes. Like these little bumps popped up. I'm like, oh, no. I got it from my esthetician. I'm just like, the jig is up, girl. So now I'm going to go in with my Tarte. This is the Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. Again, another goodie. It's almost empty, so you can like tell how good this is. I'm just going to put this on like my problem areas. Okay, so basically my whole face. I'm gonna take my trusted, the words rubbed off, I use this so much, but this is truly Topaz, and then this is a brand new one I ordered online. Black Opal really excites me. I love these products. I think I've been using them since what, 2014? 2015? Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown is my shiznai. I wasn't gonna do this part on camera because it takes so long, but let's do it. It is 9:05. Let's see how long it takes me to do my brows. It's almost been 10 minutes and I'm still doing my brows. Whew. So now I'm gonna take a little bit of my MAC Fix Plus, and I do mean a little bit because I was just at MAC. I was talking to Ihama and I was like, do I need Fix Plus? And she was like, you always need Fix Plus, everybody does. And I'm like, no, I have some at home. Should have bought some more Fix Plus while I was there. Darn it. Okay. I'm gonna go back to an oldie but goodie. This is my LA Girl Pro HD corrector in the shade Orange. And we are going to cover up this darkness. This is pretty much all I like to add. I do like to spray my body blender. Everybody asks, why isn't my beauty blender this big? What is this sponge? And then I'll put like an annotation on the screen, and then people will be like, what is this sponge? This is the body sponge from Real Techniques. Sold at Ulta for $7.99. And it is amazing. Do I recommend it? Obviously. Do I love it? Yes. So hopefully that answers the questions that I get about this sponge. So I'm just going to pounce this into my skin, and I like to blend this out pretty well. I can still see a little bit of darkness peeking through under this eye, so I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more. And that crunchy sound you hear is like the plastic. I bought this from the beauty supply store, and they like saran wrap it like 3 or 4 times. I'm exaggerating, but they really do go ham with the wrapping of the product. I guess so, like if people steal it, they can barely open it, but I bought it and can barely open it. So I'm gonna go in with my Patrick Starrr loose powder. Love this stuff. I know, again, people were skeptical when I went to MAC in my vlog and bought it, but it's really buttery, it's really smooth, really soft, and it really does work. I know people are kind of like, oh, but it's like a peachy undertone. Yeah, I know, but still. Yeah, it has that peachy pink undertone. It looks really, really good. It's like no different than, you know, Airspun. If you can use Airspun, you can use the Patrick Starrr powder. So again, I'll say I love something and people are like, okay, so do you love it? Like, do you like it? Like, do you recommend it? And I'm just like, do I love it and do I recommend it? Yes, I do. And I bought it with my own money. So not sponsored, not paid, not PR, not nothing. I just love it, okay? We're gonna go in with this Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. This is in the shade 9.75. It's pretty much the same consistency as my Becca foundation. There really isn't much of a difference, but I love this stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna take the flat side of my body blender and I'm just going to literally bounce the blender, bounce the blender. I kind of squeeze the sides a little bit. Pebbles, jeez Louise. But do you see like how A, full coverage, and B, like super smooth this foundation is? Can y'all see that? I don't know. I feel like it's going on just a little bit thick and patchy, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil on the back of my hand, like so, and then I'm going to just pounce my body blender into my hand, and then we're going to, there we go. This just makes it so much smoother and easier to blend onto my skin. But see, it's a little patchy. That's okay though. That's okay. That's what concealer is for. I'm gonna put one pump of the foundation on the back of my hand, pounce that in there, and then proceed to put this right here, right over my lids. I'm going to be using my Kat Von D Lock-It concealer in the shade, hold on, in the Warm. Reading. And then my Tarte Shape Tape concealer in the shade Tan Sand. So I'm just going to apply this right under my eyes. Whoop, 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 whoop. Pebbles is down there making a lot of noise. Yeah, I'm talking about you, girl. And I like to mix the concealers just because the coverage and the consistency is just a tad bit different for both of the formulas. But together, I really like the coverage that I get. So I'm going to let this get just a little bit tacky. I'm only going to put this underneath my eyes because I put enough to blend it, you know, elsewhere. Like my chin, my nose, and a little bit on my forehead. So now I'm going to take my Ruby Kisses Pure Mineral Concealer in the shade Chestnut. I am like almost out of this stuff. I don't need a lot of this chestnut. I just, for some reason, I like to have that liquid and powder because I'm real extra AF. So I'm just going to again use the flat side. I'm done applying my foundation so I can get, you know, darker products on the flat side. Pebbles! Don't look at me like that. Okay, so I'm just pouncing. Okay, so now I'm going to blend in my concealer. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell, probably not, but I do have a little bit of darkness that's peeking through underneath my eyes. That's a really easy fix, and this is really great if you're taking pictures. I'm going to go in with something a little bit thicker. This is, I'm going to show y'all with the top on, my Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. This is in the shade SX11. I used to use the Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX08, but that was light years too light for me. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to just like pounce my body blender into the product. Just kind of like bounce it in. So I've smoothed the product out on my hand, but I've also gotten a very even and thin layer onto my body blender. Now I'm just going to put that underneath my eyes, and boom, you have that extra full, technical foul. Now you have that extra full coverage. Just gonna put that in the center of my forehead, on the center of my chin. So boom. I'm gonna use my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC43. This is their Studio Fix foundation powder. There's another powder that I was using, the NYX No Filter powder in the shade Classic Tan. But this is basically what it looks like, and I just put this everywhere that I put the lighter concealers. The reason I do that is because when I would go in with just loose powder, and today I am going to be using my Patrick Starrr powder. I'm not going to be using Airspun or Beauty Bakery or Sasha or Ben Nye. I'm just going to use this one. When I would just go in with my loose powder, no matter what powder it was, it would look really patchy and it would kind of like stick to the concealer. So when it was time to either brush it away, which I don't do anymore because it reveals the darkness underneath my eyes for some odd reason. And now even when I would spray my beauty sponge and kind of like tap it into or press it into my skin, it would pull some of that concealer away, and the darkness was like just so noticeable. And I'm just like, I don't know why this is happening, but it doesn't happen when I use a pressed foundation powder, and then go over top of all of that with my loose powder to bake and catch any fallout from my eyeshadow. I'm just going in one last time to blend out any creases that I may have in those fine lines, any product that may have settled in there. I was using like under eye, like MAC 24-hour eye, whatever. I was using a bunch of stuff or trying out stuff underneath there to fill in those lines, and sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. So at this point I'm just like, I don't care. If I have those lines under there, or if product settles into, you know, the creases, it's not the end of the world. The face is still gonna look really beat down and really flawless at the end of it all. So this is the Morphe R2 brush. I just like how like fluffy this brush is. It distributes the perfect amount of my my pressed powder, so I really like that. So I'm just applying this, like I said, everywhere that I put my lighter concealer, and I'm really going underneath my eyes because I genuinely want this pressed powder to settle into those creases underneath my eyes. It looks a little bit better when the powder kind of sets in, instead of having like wet concealer in those fine lines. So that's why you really want to set everything. I'm going to take my body sponge, and it's a little damp still, tap it into the Patrick Starrr powder, and just start by applying it underneath my eyes. Pebbles, stop. Okay, so I don't know if you I look really funny, like dead ass. Okay, I don't know if you, if I could just be serious for like one day of my life, that would be really great. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is like a really soft, really smooth, just really buttery powder. So I'm gonna take my clear mascara and just run that through my brows. Pebbles, stop! Pebbles is grooming herself, but the noise she's making, I'm sure it's picking up on camera, and I'm sure it sounds gross, so stop. But I didn't want to keep her in the cage while I was filming this, because, I mean, she's not doing anything. So I'm going to take my IT Cosmetics Youth Sculpted Universal Contouring Palette, and I'm going to take this powder that I've been using the heck out of. So now I'm gonna take my Morphe E41, and let me just tell y'all that I washed this brush. I washed it the right way, I really did, I promise, but it like came apart after it dried, so I have to like really make sure that it's on there, because I love this brush and I don't want to buy a new one. So I'm just gonna be janky and super glue it. I don't care. I don't care. So yeah, dipping into this medium contour shade with my Morphe E41. Do y'all see? Y'all see that? Now, I used to contour like, or like warm up my entire face like a doo-doo bean. But, like I used to warm up all of this. But I kind of keep it kind of high, like where my trace is, boom. And then a little bit like where my cheek is, like where I would put blush. In that area. So I kind of like to keep it high. I don't like to bring it down low. And then I don't contour my entire forehead. For somebody who has such a small head like I do, I actually do have a big forehead. A lot of forehead space. You know, we could like watch a movie on my forehead, which I'm not opposed to. However, when I contour it, I don't apply it all over anymore. I just apply it to the sides. Kind of fade it into the middle. And then call it a day. I apply a little bit underneath my lip because I'm not a lip filler girl. I don't need them. I think I have great lips. So this just makes your lips look a little bit bigger. It makes your chin look a little bit more defined because I will say, yeah, I'm just like beating myself up with this brush basically. I will say this. I have a really round face. Like it's just, I have a basketball head, but it's very small basketball, like a child's basketball. So I try to add as much shadow and like meow, 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 meow as I can. I'm gonna take my Tarte concealer. I'm using this brush. I have no idea what the name of this brush is, where I got this brush from. Oh, I got it from a brush set. From who, girl? From where? From when? I don't know, but I know I got it from a brush set. And this is just the base for my eyeshadow. If you have lids that are like the same color as your skin, you really don't have to do all of this. If you do, it's just going to give you like a really like full coverage look, which, you know, I'm never upset about. What are we looking for? 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 My brush. This one. So this is the Morphe M504 brush. 504 brush. So I'm taking my trusty Juvia's Place Masquerade palette. I have purchased every single Juvia's Place palette I've ever shown on this channel. I've used these palettes, I think, all 2017. Definitely a 2017 fave for me. This is like my absolute favorite color, and this one just broke. So, oops, I dropped it. Yeah, I'm not sponsored. They've never sent me PR. I just support Juvia's Place wholeheartedly. It's a Black-owned business, and yeah, I just really love them. The quality of their eyeshadows, they're really buttery, really smooth, really easy to blend, and super pigmented. Juvia's Place is definitely going places. But get it? Yeah, I'm just going to use my M504 brush. This is a really fluffy brush, so I'm using my Jaclyn Hill method and blowing that color out. I want this color to just pretty much be my transition color. I want this color to be everywhere. And this is a really big brush, so if you want some like, if you want something that's more precise, then definitely go for a much smaller brush. A much smaller brush. But for me, I really like, because I have a lot of lid space, my shadows do really, my shadows look really good if I keep them low, but then they also look really good when I blow them out. That's kind of the benefits of having lid space. But even if you don't have a lot of lid space, you can still blow the shadow out. Just keep it in a concentrated area. If you don't have a lot of lid space, just keep it, try to use the circular motions to keep it within the range of like your crease. So keep it like right here, but once you hit your brow bone, don't let it go past that if you don't have a lot of lid space. If you have a lot of lid space, it really is okay. Now I'm going to take, this is my MAC 224 dupe blush. This is my MAC 224 dupe brush that I picked up from eBay. I got these like 2 years ago, I think, when I was like really big on buying stuff on eBay, and they're amazing. But I'm going into the Nubian by Juvia's Place, and I'm gonna take the color that I've also hit pan on. You can tell which colors I really like and use all the time because I've hit pan on them. I'm gonna take my Morphe M504 and just do my windshield wiper motions. That way I blur out any of the harsh lines. So windshield wiper motions are really good for just smoothing everything out. So now I'm going to take Kenya. The shade next to it, Egypt, also cracked because I am a clumsy mess and I drop everything. So that's why it looks like that. But yeah, I'm going to take Kenya. And this is definitely a smaller, more precise brush. And I'm focusing that Kenya shade on the outer corner. I'm just going to tap back into Zulu right here. And just going to tap into that a little bit. And then I'm going to tap into Aina right here. Now this is a really like warm brick reddish brown. I'm tapping the excess off of my brush. And I'm just going to use my Morphe M504 to just blend all of these shadows together. But I'm adding that warmth just so the transition color doesn't get lost. And we're about to carve out our lid. So I kind of like to tilt my head backwards and just draw a line. A Nikki Tutorials line. This is what she does, so it's what I do. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I kind of have like these like fine lines, these little wrinkles on my lid. So I have to really be careful when I do this. So that's the first eye. I just wiped that concealer off of my brush. So now my brush has no product on it. And I'm just blending this concealer outwards because I'm going to take my brush again. This is the Coastal Scents 250. And I'm going to go back into... I'm going to go back into Kenya and I'm just going to add that to the outer V. The good news is my concealer is tacky enough for me to start applying my lid color. So I'm going to take, oh, this is a random brush that came in a set that I picked up from Amazon. It's bomb though. So I'm gonna have to go back to my Amazon store and find this set and link it down below for you guys. And I'm going to go into, hold on, this shade in the Masquerade palette, and I'm just going to tap this. Now I sprayed my brush with the Pixie by Petra, what is this, the Dewy Glow Mist, just because it brings out the color of the shadow. Okay, now I'm going to go into the Juvia's Place Magic palette, and I'm going to go into Baronu right here. I'm gonna spray my brush again, and then apply that. I'm gonna wipe off my brush and I'm gonna go into pretty much the star of the show. LeBron. So I'm going into LeBron by my mom, Jackie Aina. If you guys didn't know, Jackie Aina was my mom. She did legally adopt me. Legally, unofficially. She adopted me, okay? The video is up there if you want to watch it. I'm taking Artist Couture by Jackie Aina. Go mama, go mama, go mama, go mama. So I finally got my hands on it this year. I wanted it last year, but I missed it. Hey. So I'm gonna dump some of it into the lid, like not even all that much, because this, I'm pretty sure, is pigmented from what I've seen. spray a little bit more of my Glow Mist, and then I'm going to just tap into LeBron's. Wow, 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 wow. This is so pretty. And then I'm going to apply this to my... Do y'all see how bomb this looks? Wow, 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 wow. So now my lids look foiled. This looks amazing. I'm taking this dark brown from the Nubian to this one. This one. And I'm just, you know, just blending out the outer corner. Wow. I'm going to see how this looks. I'm gonna put it on my hand first, just to see. This is really gold. I'm going to just apply this right over the top. And then I'm gonna take this glitter, this one right here, right where the silver is. Wow, okay. The only downfall is you get glitter everywhere. So you gotta dust it off with this clean. This is a clean It Cosmetics dupe brush. I bought this from eBay too. But let's focus. For the sake of timing, let me go ahead and start on the other eye, and then we'll be back to do liner and lashes together. So I'm using the NYX Epic Black Mousse Liner. Pick this up from Ulta. I'm not going to wing out my liner. I'm going to stop right at the edge of my eye. So right at the outer corner, at my little Humpty Hump in the center. So doing my liner pretty much as usual. Then I'm going to take my Morphe E36 brush, and I'm just going to smudge that liner. Now this liner is a mousse liner, so it does dry kind of quickly. So if you feel like you can't get a good smudge, you can just add some black. And for that, I went ahead and bought the Jaclyn Hill palette because I saw it at Ulta. So let me go ahead and grab that one. I'm just going to take this color right here. I haven't used the Jaclyn Hill palette enough to know if I really like it. But I will say that the only palettes I really reach for are my Juvia's Place palettes. For some reason, I'm not a fan of like the Morphe 35O palette. And y'all know I love neutrals, so I'm always like, why don't I like that palette that much? So this is what it looks like. And if you want to go back in and kind of intensify the liner, you can. But just remember, we're putting falsies on, so I'm personally going to go back in and intensify that liner just a little bit. And boom, the eyes are lined. The tedious task at hand right now is using my tweezers to pull off the glue from my last application. I'm going to take my Essence Extreme Lasting Easy Glide and Waterproof Pencil. This is in the shade Silky Nude. This is what I'm going to put in my waterline. Let's go ahead and pop these lashes on. I do kind of like to bend it a little bit. I gotta get all in the mirror for this one. We're just about to move on and finish the rest of the face. It's home stretch. We are almost done. So I just sprayed my body blender with the Pixie by Petra Glow Mist. Sorry, I had the little LeBron's thing stuck to it. And I'm just pressing that into my skin. And it just melts my loose powder. So I'm just pressing that onto my chin, pressing that onto my forehead, onto my nose. And my other eye. I'm just gonna take my Morphe brush, the R2, and dip back into my pressed powder and go right underneath my eyes. I know you're like, again? Yes, again. I have some glitter under there, so I'm just applying this powder with this brush to, you know, attempt to pick up that glitter. So we're gonna spray a little bit of Fix Plus. And then I take the back of my body blender, the back of it, and I just pounce that. Like I said, home stretch, we're almost done, I promise. It's gonna warm up my face one more time. I'm gonna take my Morphe E8 brush and I'm gonna dip into the light contour shade. And I'm just going to contour my nose. Contouring my nose is not, you know, a big ordeal like it kind of used to be. I do go into that like curvy, you know, from the brows, I curve it in, and then I go kind of in a circular motion on the nostrils, and then I go right over top, and then right on the bottom. So it looks like a little button. It looks like a little button. I'm gonna dip into the Nubian gosh darn it. And I'm gonna take this brown right here. And we're gonna go right underneath these lashes. On the lower lash line, of course. And we're just going to like slide that in, but I'm only bringing it in just a little bit. I'm not bringing it all the way. So that's just going to really bring the whole eye look together. And then I'm going to go into the Nubian 2 and take Kenya, this brown shade right here, taking a little bit on my brush, and we're gonna get really into that line, like just right where the lashes are. We're gonna put that shadow right there. We're gonna get it right and we're gonna get it tight. We are gonna dip into Swift. This is a ColourPop Super Shock Cheek blush, basically. This is what Swift looks like. It kind of reminds me of MAC's Raisin, but it's so pretty. It's kind of just like a warmer mauve-y version of my bronzer contour. It's the same thing to me. And I just put it on my cheeks, and it's nice and matte and a little rosy, and it just adds a little pump. And I don't even need to use that much, you know what I'm saying? Just enough. So this is my Morphe M573. I'm gonna take some Fix Plus. You can take your... I spilled that green shadow everywhere, y'all, so I had to look at my my beauty sponge a little crazy just to make sure I didn't start putting green all over my face. So yeah, you can use your beauty sponge, like the back of the sponge, the clean part of the sponge basically. Just kind of press that Fix Plus into your skin so that it melts. But I'm doing that because I'm about to LeBron. Okay? I have never used this product before today. I just got it in the mail like yesterday. So I'm dipping my brush into the lid, and then I'm gonna spray my brush with the Glow Mist by Pixie. We're just gonna put a little bit. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm excited to use Le Peach after this. So I'm dipping into Le Peach. Whoa, yeah, I really like the peach. I like the peach. I'm gonna put this on the sides. Wow. Yeah, I like the peach. I'm just tapping into Le Peach. Le Peach. Le Peach. You know what? You know what? You know what? Gonna take a little bit of Le Peach. Oh, Jesus. Y'all wanna know something that I've been hiding? This lash is bothering me. It's not glued on all the way. When your lash isn't glued on all the way, you gotta peel it off. Put a little bit of glue on the back of your tweezers. Kind of peel it so it protrudes out, so when you blink it doesn't get the glue everywhere. And you just paint that glue on. You want to take your tweezers. You just want to push that lash in. I feel so much more security now. If your lash is ever bothering you, just peel it up a little bit, add a little bit of glue. The recycling truck, I'm sorry. We recycle in this neighborhood. Add a little bit of glue to the back of your tweezers, put that on the lash, and then just press it back in once it gets tacky. It only takes, I want to say, like maybe 5 to 7 seconds to get tacky. If you get it on your face, just let that little bit dry and it'll peel right off. First things first, I always put on chapstick. Now I just kind of pat my lips with the back of my hand before I add my liner. Because if you have too much chapstick on, your liner and your like other stuff just doesn't go on as well. Yes. What was I using before? This is the She lip liner in the shade light brown. Okay, so this is the Rimmel Kate liner in 40. This is gonna be really light. Really light. So now I'm gonna take the Sephora lip gloss in the shade 04 Perfect Nude. If you don't have this palette and you were like looking at it, on the fence about it, I say get it. Only, can't really hold it up all the way because one of the shadows is broken because I drop everything, remember. Only for this shade right here. I don't even know if y'all can see that. This shade right here. Right here. It's called Undressed. It's like kind of matte and it's just really, really, it's universal. It goes with pretty much every eye look I do. Anytime I'm putting like a lighter color in my inner corner, I promise you it's this. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the exposure down just a little bit. So nothing is like really washed out or anything like that. So yeah, this is LeBron's and Le Peach in action. I love it. The eyeshadow with the glitter. Woo wee! I got a little skill, a little talent.